Students have been primarily taking classes on Zoom for a year now due to the pandemic. While this is the safest option for physical health, mental health and students' ability to learn are facing serious negative effects. Charlie Trokel is a fourth-year comm student at UVA. He thought he'd shaken off a long history of depression until his classes went on Zoom. The lack of human interaction, he says, brought back his depression and created obstacles to learning.
I can tell I'm not at the sort of like academic standard that I would normally have for myself. The motivation and the mental health have just been like steady decline.
Charlie self-identifies as an extrovert, but he says virtual learning stops his mind from thriving in discussions like before. Online class is intimidating, and it increases his stress levels even more.
Zoom is petrifying. I am like stuttery and incoherent and just like fully sweating. I'm like I can feel my heart rate getting up as I think about it right now.
Rand Perry is a third-year student who has discovered irresistible distractions with online class that he did not have in person, which now harms his educational experience.
It's definitely been a lot harder, I think, to focus on one thing for a very long period of time.
When you are learning on Zoom, are you learning better or worse than when you're going to class in person?
Worse, much, much worse. Like another thing that Zoom does is it really individualizes learning a lot.
Student mental health has been declining for the past decade, but most experts tie that to anxiety related to social media comparison. But then came COVID, driving students indoors, where they now directly compare themselves to other students in class over Zoom. Dr. Nicole Ruzek, the director of UVA's Counseling and Psychological Services, says Zoom puts pressure on students who feel they are on camera and being judged.
Being able to see themselves creates a whole nother level of anxiety.
The exhaustion students are feeling is now known as Zoom fatigue, and it's real. Stanford released a study just last month on the 4 causes for Zoom fatigue. Dr. Ruzek agrees that staring at a screen with so many people on it can actually max out one's cognitive load.
Looking at a screen for hours on end, the brain is operating in a different way that just causes us to feel more tired.
Stanford's recent study validates students' feelings of exhaustion. While the term Zoom fatigue may be new, it is something that continues to affect people at a serious psychological level. For WUVA News, I'm Maddie McNamee.